everybody. My name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie, watching amazing content on Just Angie. And today I want to take a leaf from RAW. So RAW is my first autobiography. My spiritual authority says there are going to be two, because this is like part one of my life. And it's true, because every time I say, hey, and that story didn't make it, and that story didn't make it. And I was like, wow, I've lived a very colorful life. I really have. Today, I want to read from the chapter on lessons from co-parenting. I just love it. And there's a quote here. It says, the best security blanket a child can have is parents who respect each other. My goodness. Where is my tambourine? I need my tambourine. The best security blanket a child can have is parents who respect each other. So I start by saying co-parenting, and this is the truth, has been an area that has helped me grow tremendously as a person, mother, and a leader. We all make better choices because of our children. I remember intently staring at my reflection in the mirror when I found out that I was pregnant with Althea. Another human being is growing inside of me, I thought. It was almost unfathomable. I took good care of myself as the child grew within me, eating right, walking very carefully to board public transport. Although I was on my feet most of the day at the restaurant that I managed at that time. And Althea's name means a flower that brings healing, and this is, I think, something that she really, really did for me. She brought me a lot of healing over the years, painful healing, because I must speak into this statement as I continue, but it says that it helped me grow. Co-parenting helped me grow. It helped me grow as a person, it helped me grow as a mother, and it helped me grow as a leader. It really did. The choice of another human being living in us, or now coming to the earth, and then it's in a complicated situation, because for the first 6.5 years, we were married and living under the same roof. And then after that, we had to co-parent her. But I always say that what we did is we chose Althea. And that's very important. So choose your children. I think there's a place where it talks about parents being, I even said, when her father and I separated, it was very painful for everyone, especially Althea. She would cry continuously and not tell me why. I took her to see a counselor simply to ascertain that her psyche was okay, or judge how much damage had been done and what I needed to do about it. And she drew happy faces of her parents living in 2 homes, and all was well. I'm not sure, like I said, whether there was ever a conversation about co-parenting, but somehow we both decided to put her first and set our differences aside. We had already failed so miserably in the marriage department that by God's grace, we knew we couldn't mess this up, and thankfully we made it work by His grace. So there's a part I said, we should not use our children as weapons against our former partners because it's not fair to them. There is an emptiness in them, in the children, that needs both parents to fill. Men and women form their identity from their fathers. Please don't deny them that relationship. Women bring the nurturing, discipline, love, and life skills that we all need. It takes 2 human beings to bring a child into the world. Let's allow both human beings to have an input in the child's life, please. It's very, very important. So part of the things that I did with co-parenting also, I ensured that she knew her people. So I said, these are your people, you're going to know your people. This is your shags, this is your village, you are going to know these people, you're going to engage them. So every time there was an event, she would be there, she'd go with her dad. I think there are a lot of Christmases and New Year's they spent up country, which is good because she's getting to know her roots. It's important, it's so important. I can't remove her from the fact that this is her father. I can't pretend. But the thing is with co-parenting is you need to understand that you're hurting the child if you don't do it. Like the child cannot choose one person. They can't choose one parent over another parent. They can't do that. Even if they tell you with their mouth they are not. They're hurting. And you cause such deep hurt. Because they love both their parents. Which parent are they not supposed to love? They can't. They love both their parents and they get different things from both parents. So you've got to allow them that access. Sometimes I feel sad that she didn't grow up in a house where we both were, but at least we gave her something else, you know? And with her, because I'm always saying, she says I have revealed all her stories, but anyway, like even her attachment style was secure. That was such a plus for us. that despite living in 2 different homes and being brought up in 2 different homes, she's a securely attached child. How amazing is that? How amazing is that? And you know, I usually tell leaders, take your eyes off yourself. Like, this can't be about you. This can't be about the battle. This can't be about the mistakes you've made in your relationship or haven't made, you know, or what you think should have happened, didn't happen, or that he has found somebody else. There's too much drama. Relax. Just relax the drama, please. And choose the child. What is best for this child? Unless their parent, either parent is harming them in any way, you've got to let each parent do their thing. I remember once, and I think I talked about it here, Althea got her passport, and her father refused to help me get that passport. Yeah, some interesting stories of ours come to mind. I'll share a few. When she was still a child, I felt a desire to obtain a passport for Althea. I believe she was initially using her father's passport to travel. And he refused to help me with the process. And I remember standing outside the immigration office and praying before I entered, Lord, I don't know anyone here, but I know you. Please help me. And in 2 weeks, I collected the passport. And guess who was the first person to use it? Yani, guess, take a wild guess. Who was the first person to use the passport they have refused to help? And I remember, and I think I said that, I went to my mom. Because this was a passport, a child, and the airport. You can go anywhere and end up in a destination, and that might be the last time I see this child. So I went to my mom, looking for solace. Like, she was going to say, do not, under any circumstances, give that child to the father with a passport. My mom just told me, it's okay, that's her father. I was so shocked. I was shocked, disappointed, horrified. Because now there was nowhere else to go. I was like, this was it. And off they went. They went, I think, to Tanzania. But I also like Althea's dad, because he also understands me. And I think he wrote here. I wrote here. They called me every day because he knew I'm just not going to be breathing. I was not going to be breathing. Yeah. Her dad called me every few hours that they were away on their trip. And I love that he knows even to this day how important she is to me. And he makes an effort to communicate and put me at ease. Another story, when she was accepted to study in the UK, I couldn't afford the trip. I couldn't afford the air ticket or the accommodation to go to the UK. But again, her dad came through with understanding. And he said to Althea, I will pay for your mom to take you because this is the only way that she will have peace. I mean, what is that? Isn't that amazing? And I love that he knows me and us so well. And in terms of co-parenting, Althea is like her dad. And our personality clash all the time. They seem to understand each other. Me, I'm always on this side. But apart from the few outbursts, we've made it work. And for this, I'm forever grateful. Her dad provided with her education, so I didn't struggle with that. And they'd go out of the country every year. And I said there are days I wanted to throw a tantrum, and I probably did. This is lessons from co-parenting. Yeah, so maybe you want to throw a tantrum. It's okay, it's human. And I said I probably did. But I was not going to be those parents that use their child as a pawn in a game they don't have any business playing. It just wasn't fair. This was our failure, not her failure. Now she's all grown up, and so am I. I prefer peace in all situations and carefully weigh my responses. I no longer sweat the small stuff, and I don't respond to issues of life in the way I did before. I am more self-aware, and my long conversations with Althea to see her point of view have really helped. I am older and wiser. Lessons from co-parenting. You've got to co-parent them. Remember, they're going to grow. Remember, they're going to leave you at some point. You don't want to be left lonely. You don't want to be left with no one to talk to. You don't want to have lied. Their father died. Their father didn't want to see them and he did. Their mother didn't want. Don't do those things. Stop. It's going to catch up with you somehow. But what I'm trying to say is let it catch up in a positive note, you know? Let it catch up positively. And let it be about the child or the children. Remove the focus of yourself. This is not about you. This is not about what will bring you joy, what's working for you, what's fair for you, no. It's about what works for the children, what is fair for the children, and that it takes two people to bring a child into the world. Therefore, it's going to take two people to raise them. And even I can hear the feedback. Like, let's say the parent has passed on, you find a representative parent. If the man has passed on, you find our uncles and brothers and people who can stand in the gap as men. Even if there's a divorce and the man doesn't want to be involved, then you find a person who can fit into that role. But you try everything. You know, the Bible says, when you have done all to stand, then you stand. That's what you do. When you've done all, stand, 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 stand. But don't say, I've not done all, you know. You can feel bad about it, but you've got to let them be. And you've got to be able to see happy pictures in happy places, in destinations that you don't have access to, but let the child be happy. Let the child be happy, and don't blame them for loving a parent. They have to love the parent because that's part of who they are. And then I always find like there's a fascination with the parent that's not there, I think. I think there's a fascination with the parent that's not there because maybe you want them to be there. This one is always here. This one we're tired. She's always here. So you're fascinated about this parent that's not there. You're trying to get to know more about that parent that's not there, which is good. Yeah, so co-parent. Learn to co-parent. If that's the place we have reached, learn to co-parent. Give access to grandparents, trust God, you know. I think the first thing my mom did was, it showed me we have to trust God. God has got a plan for this child or any child. God has a plan and we have to let his plan fall into place. And we cannot control everything. It's not possible to control everything. It's not possible to control everything that's going to take place, you know. And I think also for myself, co-parenting also helped me to speak to Althea positively about marriage, to tell her that marriage works, that her marriage will work, that these are the things to watch out for. And I guess the other thing is I did age-appropriate information. So I didn't share everything. As she grew up, I would now share, this is what happened here, this is why this happened here, you know. That's important as well, I think. That's very, very important. And then to teach her, to respect all adults. I was like, respect everyone. Respect everyone that you encounter as an adult and a human being. It will serve you for a very long time. So we can't sit here and talk negatively about, let's say, somebody who your dad is with or somebody, that one we're not going there. So you know, discipline in all areas. And maybe the last thing I'll say, because I know I need to do a session on where parents bleed on their children. I think in co-parenting, there's a place where the child can be the person that becomes your sounding board. So you tell them everything, you tell them your problems, you're trying to get them to help you, but you've got to remember this is a child. Their perspective can only be that of a child. And you need to find that help. Thank God we have other avenues now. We have therapy, we have coaches, we have mentors. You can go ask your girlfriends or other, just don't put a burden on this child about your life and tell them things that it's not for them to know such things, or it's not their context to know such things or to understand such things or even to advise you on those things. So don't put more pressure on them than they're already having living this life. So get the book. There are many more lessons on co-parenting. There are a lot of chapters. This book, I forgot my whole heart and everything. Wow. I was almost saying, recall the press, 18 chapters. So chapter 17 is lessons from co-parenting. So get the book, get raw and authentic with yourself. God bless. Bye-bye. Give us your feedback.